Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. My name is Tonia, and today we are discussing the new moon in Virgo that recently happened on September 17th, a little before 7 a.m. New York Eastern Time. For Aries, this is your horoscope for the coming 1 month from the point of that new moon, and especially over the next week and a half or so from the point of me posting this video, as new moons and full moons are definitely in effect for at least a month, but especially at least 2 weeks. And this is for Camille, as I may or may not have already said. For all the Aries people out there, ascendant sun or moon, she's an Aries sun, so shout out to you. And I have about 10 minutes today, so I'm going to try to make it count in a short amount of time, Aries. So I know you like it that style anyway. Let's go ahead and share our screen here so you can see the moon itself. Now, Aries, this is happening in Virgo, right? This just happened in Virgo. So that's going to be your 6th house, because from Aries we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's basically saying there's new beginnings on offer for you, Aries, in relationship to your work environments where you're putting in your daily consistent grind energy. The 6th house in astrology is actually associated with like servitude, and not necessarily in the best of ways servitude. So it's where we find ourselves literally and metaphorically enslaved to things, to concepts. So that's where this idea of like repeated work comes from in modern astrology. It's kind of like watered out of what the actual meaning of the 6th house is, but it's true that that becomes like the modern way of the 6th house. But it might be some deeper food for thought in relationship to like what things in your life, Aries, are you feeling like you're needing to break free from or away from, because also the part of fortune is here in conjunction with the new moon itself in Virgo, which I think is really interesting, right? At the time of this new moon beginning point, it's like the divine mother, the moon, and the divine father, the sun, the forces of the universe in 2 planets, the moon and the sun, right, are at a beginning point every new moon. But this new moon is conjunct the part of fortune, which is pretty cool, because the part of fortune is how you can make money off your skills, and it's in the skillful sign of Virgo. Virgo and Gemini are the 2 skills dominant signs of the zodiac, because they're ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the god of skill, right, and management. And so anyway, there's a lot of like new energy on offer for you, Aries, in terms of like where you're putting in that energy daily and what you're about to do with your life on a day-to-day, everyday kind of put in the grind kind of level. Now, some hints for you. Let's look further at the aspects. This is all beautiful because I think it's supportive more than it is not for you, Aries. Even though you have some Mars activation here, like Mars is putting you through hell still. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, because look, it's at 27 degrees. It's retrograde, which means it's extra, extra, extra intense. It's in your sign, Aries, which is not going to happen again for many, many more years. The last time this happened was like the 1980s, that Mars was retrograde in its own sign of Aries. So like be aware that you are under a massive reconstruction moment right now, Aries. Aries people out there, for some of us, depending on our age, this might be the last time we get in this lifetime. And for others of us, this is like one of 2 more significant times in this lifetime that you're going to have to totally revamp yourself, Aries. What you're going through now is a I just got goosebumps for you. What you're going through now is a starting point, a resetting point for your career and what you're doing every day, because of this new moon activation, but in general for you and your entire life, because Mars is retrograding your sign, especially if you're a later degree born Aries, like the last half of Aries, or especially the last 10 degrees of Aries. If you know your chart, like where is that sun, where is that moon, where is that rising, right? But it's still the whole effect of Aries is just like intense like that. So just be aware, Aries, that you are going through some metamorphosis, and it's through hard work and diligence and grind and persistence, because Mars square Saturn is at play by a 2-degree orb, and both of them planets are retrograde right now. Look, down here, Saturn is at 25 degrees retrograde, within 2 degrees of separation, Aries, from that Mars at 27 degrees of Aries, squaring, not to mention Mars is still by 5-degree orb squaring Pluto. So there's a lot of intense transformation going on right now, a lot of hard work. Mars square Saturn accomplishes through great dedication and great feat. You know what I'm saying? It's like you climbed that mountain and you went through those hellfires and you jumped over those nails, and like you got through it though, and now because you got through it, you're like the champion, you know? So that's some of the energy around you, Aries, but I'm looking at the positives at the same time that I tell you that, because I don't sugarcoat diddly piddly. Also, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed, Aries. I forgot to say that at the beginning. Like this video if it brings you any value whatsoever. If you want to learn more about my astrology course, I'm teaching you, if you're into this, and we vibe, and you know your goals align with what I want to offer, which is an incredible skill set of astrological interpretation that you can take with you at any party, any social scene whatsoever, and just whip out of your toolkit and have that conversation with people about their chart, about other people's charts, and find the connections that other like watered down astrologers just don't even understand. If you want to have that in a 3-month intensive training program where we meet once a week, I am doing that, Aries. It's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. See the link down below for more details on that course and how to schedule a Calendly call with me, which is the first step. Now, as I was saying, the positive stuff, though, Aries, to this is that the new moon itself, this new beginning, right, is in beautiful trine. It's harmonic aspect, this nice blue line we see over here, to some of those same planets that were causing so much tension to the Mars, to both Saturn and Pluto, and even Jupiter. We are seeing activation from this 25-degree new moon in Virgo. So it's positive, supportive vibes. And all these planets, the gods of fate and karma, the god of belief and will, of your, well, Mars is the god of will, but the god of belief and higher knowledge, you know, Jupiter, your spirituality, okay? These planets are in your 10th house right now, and they're all asking you to go really deep, because this is still residue left over from the mega conjunction of 2020 that all the astrologers across the land were like, oh my God, henny penny, you know, like pay attention, which is true, you know, I'm making fun of it because it's true, but it's like real at the same time. So like, anyway, you know, this is intense energy, and it's in your career house, though, the 10th house, which is your legacy, Aries. So you're getting some support between your legacy that you want to build over time, because Saturn is involved heavy under these energies, and Saturn takes time to grow, okay? So take in mind that whatever you do now, you could see some really solid results. And yes, this is part of you coming out Aries 2.0 because of Mars retrograde, okay? Which will be wrapping up, you know, by the end of this year. So pay attention, though, to what's happening right now, Aries, because it's setting the seeds, it's setting the stage. You are actively setting the stage with whatever you bring into your day-to-day environment, whatever habits, healthy habits you bring into your day-to-day environment right now. It's kind of like sticking glue for the long term. It's kind of like setting cement in terms of like what you're doing daily, day in, day out, and what you're building in the long term for yourself. And that can even be just like everyday actions of you know, coming up with a game plan right now, because Mars is retrograde. It's not the best time to pull that trigger until Mars does come out of retrograde. So really more towards December, we're looking at like more of a clear path. And if you really want to think about it, like 11th house dreams, networks, you're going to be seeing Saturn move into that house at the beginning of 2021 in January. So, you know, the end of the year, the beginning of next year is probably a better time to truly initiate Aries. But right now, if you're into this vibe that I'm talking about, this new Aries 2.0, you're really trying to get in your health game. You're trying to establish some really healthy regimen and habits around your day-to-day work environments, okay, what you're actually doing every day. I want you to be putting in the mental work, because look, Mercury's about to go retrograde too, and that's going to be happening actually in Scorpio, which is your 8th house. So you're going to be asked to go deep one way or another. You can take my advice and start now and go deeper as that retrograde, you know, season of Mercury begins truly once it's in Scorpio, or not, and you know, you're just going with the cosmic flow. But if you're listening to this video, you probably care about what you're doing with your energy and your time, because you do want to kind of yield the results that you want. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. You got some shifts in that career coming on. You have an opportunity to kind of level up within that and just do some deeper shamanic, like introspective work, especially with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. There's literally not a deeper sign for Mercury to be in. The deepest thinkers in the world, period, point blank, have Mercury in Scorpio, period. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not to say all the other thinkers are like less than in any way. It's just that the deepest thinkers have Mercury in Scorpio. And so you are going to have that influence by transit in your 8th house, which is a profound influence. The 8th house is a hidden house. It's a house of secrets. So, you know, you're getting some download. You're being asked to come to terms with what it is you've been keeping pent up, where it is you actually have felt enslaved in some way, shape, or form, and how you want to be spending that energy daily, Aries. You're being asked to deal and grapple with these issues now, and also deal and grapple with what it's going to take, Saturn square Mars, what it's going to take to build that reality for yourself. Okay, So other than that, thank goddess you got Venus over here in your 5th house, lightening up things a little bit, although she's squaring Uranus in your 2nd. So don't do any hasty investments right now, Aries. I would strongly advise against it, because that's not sticking power. From the 2nd house to the 5th house, it might be a pleasurable thing that you spend some money on and you get a lot of pleasure out of it, but trust and believe it's not very likely to reap long-term fruitious results for you at this point in time if you do initiate some larger spending initiatives under this new moon influence. Because Uranus is unpredictable and Venus is money, and you have a 2nd house Uranus, which is another indicator of financial energy here. So I would advise against it, although if you want to do something like spiritually awakening, that's like a relatively low cost awakening point. I think that that's like a good usage of this. Or like higher knowledge, accessing something like that, that's like a relatively low input for your threshold, whatever that is for you at this point in time. I think that's a great use of Uranus square Venus. You want to do something new and something innovative, something truthful and higher knowledge truthful, which is Uranus, and also brings you pleasure, because Venus is pleasure, and in the 5th house is even more pleasure. The 5th house is the joy of Venus, actually, and so it's a strong Venus for you at this time, Aries. And she's also at this current time under the influence of this new moon, at least, she's also sextiling Mercury, which is fabulous because that's in your 7th house relationships. So if you have an existing relationship partner, Aries, you're probably thinking, you or your partner, or both of you, are really thinking how to make the other one pleased, because Mercury's in that 7th house and she's sextiling Venus from the 5th house. So those are beautiful houses, the 5th house, the 7th house. More pleasurable things can come in those houses, So relationship oriented things, romantic oriented things. So if you have a romantic partner, you maybe need to do a little bit more of that spicing things up, like through something like crazy and just out of nowhere, and make sure you put some thought into it and how it's going to actually serve them and make both of you feel happy and joyful and in kind of your more divine essence vibe, and even like make you or your partner feel a little bit like the celebrity, like the Leo in that equation, like, yes, I am glorificus, like feel the vibe. Like if you need to give your partner some more attention right now, this is a good time to make them feel royal. In other words, that was my timer. Time is up for me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like it if it brought you any value whatsoever. Make sure you subscribe because I put out a video every single day. I lost my like in there, but make sure you subscribe because I put out a video every single day. If you want more info on my course that I'm leading, go ahead and check the link out down below. And with that said, my friend, through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.